Hey everyone, I'm Brian Parks, and in this video, I want to talk about whether you should be pursuing Agile or continuous integration and continuous deployment. I can definitely see arguments in both directions, but the reason that I wanted to tackle this question in today's video is because I know there are a lot of places who want to do Agile, and they might even have really good reasons for wanting to do Agile, but they still struggle to actually achieve it. They struggle to get through their Agile transformation and into a good, productive cadence. So I had this idea the other day because I really value continuous integration and continuous deployment, and I started to wonder if, maybe we shouldn't be shooting toward Agile. Maybe Agile shouldn't be this big shining thing that we're all trying to strive for, and maybe we should just start with something that we can generally all agree on that is good, that being CI/CD. So I don't think there are very many organizations that are still doing waterfall and still insisting that waterfall is the way to go. I think Agile, at least as a movement, has kind of reached that tipping point where everybody agrees that there are some good things to be had from Agile. But I think it's probably more the camp where either you're trying to do Agile and multiple people have different opinions on how you should do Agile, or you feel like you've done Agile but you're not sure that you're there. You feel like you haven't quite achieved the level of productivity, I guess, that was promised when you started down your road to your Agile transformation. And I think this video is for you. I hope this video will help you out. So how many of you have seen or have heard someone say, if we react to change or we don't know where we're starting and we figure we can evolve along the way, that means we're doing Agile? What about, on the other extreme, if we follow this specific process, be it Scrum, XP, Lean, Kanban, follow a process to the letter, that means we're doing Agile? What about if we're using Jira, then we're doing Agile? If we have sprints, you might call them iterations, but if we have some sort of short increment, that means we're doing Agile. If we do a daily stand-up Scrum or sync-up meeting, we're doing Agile, or maybe Scrum specifically, right? All of these are specific aspects of various Agile methodologies that are merely components, or in some cases, in the first case, that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, misunderstanding, right? If we just kind of jump into it and kind of figure it out along the way, I mean, that's not really what Agile is supposed to be. But in a lot of cases, all of these different things are things ways that Agile really can end up looking, depending on your organization. So what is the end goal of Agile? Let's kind of start with why. Why are we doing Agile in the first place? Well, if we look at the Agile Manifesto, we have, I'm looking at those four main points kind of in the middle of the screen there, right? Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. That means the people doing the work, the people needing the work to be done, the people figuring out how to do it, and ensuring that they have the tools that they need to do their job well, and are permitted, are given the responsibility and the authority to do what they need to do in order to accomplish the task at hand. The next one, working software over comprehensive documentation, right? The end goal here is actually working software, is quality working software. Just because you have something documented out doesn't mean it's a fantastic piece of software. The only thing that means it's a fantastic piece of software is if it's actually a fantastic piece of software. The end goal of any software development project is still to have working software at the end. and ideally, maintainable and secure and all those good things, but working software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. I'm going to kind of ignore that one for now, but the key here is obviously, back to individuals and interactions, making sure everybody has what they need to accomplish their goals. And then responding to change. And this is the one that I think a lot of people jump to because of the term agile, right? When we think of agility in the physical world, we think, kind of a synonym for nimble, right? You can jump and you can dart and zig and zag and that sort of thing. And if like in the case of a football player, if someone's there to block him, he might dart to the right to get around him, right? Responding to change. That's what a lot of people kind of go to. But realistically, we shouldn't be focusing on those other things as much because they're kind of supporting things. The end goal of all of this, because this is a software development process, is working software. The key is working software. I can't stress that enough. The important point is working software, is achieving working software. A sustainable process that doesn't promote burnout and promotes an enjoyable work environment so that people can build and enjoy working software. That's our goal. So, in my opinion, what's the best way to achieve working software? It's to always have it be working. So don't just have working software at the end and have broken software, all along the lines. Always have the software in a state of working, right? As you need to add a new feature, sure, you break something briefly, ever so briefly, hopefully on your local machine, and then you get the software working again. The key is to always have working software. And the best way to achieve continuously working software, I just used the word, is continuous integration, right? Continuous integration enforces at least two things, but two things that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one is that the software is always building. The second thing is that the software is always tested. It's not enough to just build and have a built product at the end of each continuous integration pipeline. Sure, you do need software at the end, so it does need to build successfully, but you also need it to be working software, which means you have to have some sort of tests. And it's super easy to start with unit tests. You don't need to do anything crazy as far as infrastructure is concerned. Most platforms have some sort of unit testing framework kind of built into them. So you can just go with a continuous integration pipeline that A, makes sure the software builds, and B, makes sure that the software runs some tests. And then you can go from there, right? And continuous integration is obviously a prerequisite to continuous deployment. I think the continuous integration piece is the important part, but continuous deployment is helpful to be able to show and demonstrate continuously that the software is still working, the software continues to work. And that really brings customers into the fold and kind of promotes that individuals over interactions side of things. And I think CI/CD can be accomplished outside of any agile process. You don't have to be having stand-ups, you don't have to be grooming your backlog, you don't have to be doing anything with user stories. Some of that stuff might kind of happen along the way and happen accidentally. CI/CD, some of the constraints around it kind of promote some of those other agile best practices. But realistically, I don't think you have to start out by saying, we are doing Scrum before you can do CI/CD. You can start doing CI/CD right now. You can even start doing CI/CD on your local machine, as long as you can build, ideally from a command line. You run a single command every time you make a change. You run a single command. It runs the tests, it runs the build, and you get an executable at the other end, or whatever your deployment package is at the other end. You can do that on your local machine, and then you can promote it to something that is a true. It has the integration piece, So it runs on every branch, it runs after merges, it runs on a kind of a centralized repository. You can get that going. And then you can start making baby steps toward higher confidence of what it means to have working software. So you can increase your test coverage, increase the types of tests you're doing, and then gradually get toward the continuous deployment side of things, and actually deploy it to an actual, production or mock production environment. You can get there, but you can go in that direction. You don't have to start by building out this entire framework and have this huge process. You can start just with something simple: continuous integration, continuous deployment. So I hope that was helpful. If you liked this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Share this with your friends and colleagues. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do kind of a mix of videos like this and more technical videos. So the ideal week will have actually 2 videos, one like this and one more technical. But leave a comment below letting me know what you want to see in the next video, either on the technical side or on the more, soft skills, process-oriented content like this. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.